serious conversation tonight. Tonight, Daniel Nooks Thomas, Assistant Minister of Information, is in our studio. He's our in-house guest, and he has been immensely contributing to this platform. Daniel, good evening and welcome.
Good evening to you, Washington. Good evening, TT. It's a wonderful weekend. We're back together, and then we're here to provide the information as relates to what's happening in that country.
Exactly. Today you had a tiring day, but today you are still here to contribute to this platform. We really appreciate your tenacity. Let's cross the text and welcome in the lone female, Titi. Good evening.
Good evening, guys. It's good to be here this evening again. Thank God it's Friday. I love Friday because when it's Friday, I know the day after we have to rest. Yeah, so it's good to be here again.
Exactly.
We bless God for another opportunity of life. Today's the 3rd, right?
Yes, exactly.
Of November. And under 11 days. Is it 11, 12, 13, 14? Yes. Under 11 days, we go to the polls to elect a leader of our beloved country. And it's something all of us are looking forward to as Liberians because it's a decision that we must take as a people. And so we are, let me use Papa Morris's word. His word is we are ecstatic.
Oh.
And this evening at 8:30, we will play host to Minister Abubakar Ba. That's the assistant minister there at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And we'll talk more about the Muslim community's relationship with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia. We know that yesterday, a segment of ARCOP, the All Liberia Coalition Party, endorsed the Unity Party. Another segment of that party endorsed the ruling coalition for democratic change. We have seen a number of endorsements today from the Muslim community or Islamic community. Daniel is going to talk, more about that this evening. So it tells you that there's more. There's more to talk about. But again, we will talk about what's trending today. I know a lot of people already know what the biggest thing that happened today in Liberia when it comes to, as it relates to endorsement. And so we'll talk about that. But again, we're ready to fire up.
Yeah, we are ready to fire up, and open conversation has a trend. One of the trends has already been introduced. That is, our guest for tonight has been introduced by our host. So we move straightly into trending issues, discuss a few of the trending issues. We all know that today as well, the ACOP Margibi chapter endorsed the re-election of President George Weah. The ACOP Margibi chapter. The CPP endorsed the re-election of President Weah. You all may know Edward Appiton spoke to VOA and he said his party will make that their position known very soon. Everybody respect that. The vice standard bearer of ACOP also endorsed the re-election of President George Weah. And the District 6 Mwema Bridge Menza also endorsed the re-elections of President George Weah. And we're also going to be taking a critical look at the endorsement by Cabinet Janet and some of the things that he said. We're going to put them under scrutiny, some of the wordings and some of the comments that he made in his statements of endorsement, and a couple of issues happening today and current issues. So let's get back to you, or we go to Dania, and then we talk more about the current event or the trending issues.
Okay, so let's start up with I think we should make we will make the CPP last.
Yep.
And so we started with what happened in Margibi County today, because Daniel, you were in Margibi County and you are better placed to talk about it.
So thank you very much.
Daniel, go ahead.
So the morning started with our regular, midnight hour. It was an intense show this morning because for the first time we had a specific line for the Islamic community, and the calls kept coming in this morning, and you could listen to the anger in the people and the appetite to re-elect President Weah. The first thing is they were angry because the decision that was made by a fragment of the ALCOP's leadership that did not meet the consensus of the mass body of members across the country. And there was one point in time this morning, one of the callers called. He expressed, his struggles with the UNMOK, and then how it ended up in the formation of ALCOP. In fact, he even cried on the show this morning. He cried. Another person, he cried this morning. And that was attested for when we left here. So Sekou Kalasco organized that Bwaka, myself, and Henry Costa should join him, for this endorsement program. So without any hesitation, we decided to leave, and then we made our way. It was a very good beginning. We made a stop at Classic FM. We were met by scores of young people, scores everywhere we stopped along the way in Margibi. Scores of young people came all out in the numbers. First of all, to say thank you to Henry Costa for reconsidering and coming up to inform them that what has happened with his relationship with former Vice President Bwaka and what he's seeing coming at this point in time is important for them. So, and then we move on to Classic FM. It was another fantastic moment. I saw on Facebook when Metari posted that there were 19 callers who called and it was a flop. It was not. That is a very erroneous lie. We had just 4 callers, and each of the 4 callers made the point succinctly. One caller was trying to question how authentic was Brother Costa's return to to support the president. The other 3 were appreciative. When we left that station, TT, by the time we got outside, the place was already overcrowded with people. People came all out in their numbers to greet Kalasco, greet Bwaka, greet myself, and most importantly, to also see Costa. After many years of just listening to the radio, I recall an elder woman there today who walked and touched his hand. She said, hey, thank God, I touched my son. She said, Bwaka, only hear the ball. And the way he not come back, so and he talking for the president that been good for us, we really support our son to relay him. Many of us may have made some mistakes in Margibi County, but we're not going to make those mistakes again, because the way the Unity Party people go now, we're not going to go that route. We moved then to the program, the big program. Now, that endorsement program by the ALCOP or Margibi chapter was also enhanced by the JMB TAC team leadership, who also broke away today.
Whoa.
The chairperson for the JMB TAC team and the chairperson for the youth wing of the JMB TAC team broke away today, and they read the endorsements before record crowd. Now, yes.
So I want to ask you this question, because you went for another endorsement of the Margibi chapter of ALCOP.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you had the JNB TAC team, endorsing President Weah.
They came all in the numbers.
What was the reason they gave for?
So the youth leadership made a very strong statement. He made a statement before elders of the Islamic community. He made a statement before young brothers and sisters, not just of the Islamic community, but people of the district.
Okay.
We also joined by the representative elect of that District 4, who also came in support of the president and announced to the people that all of the lawmakers that were elected in Margibi has unanimously agreed to support the president's re-election. So if they can agree, it means that the president has met the consensus of the people as he represented them. And that was expressed by the people. But the young man who was the youth chairperson for the JMB TAC team said, if we have been blindly following a person who cannot rescue himself, a man who cannot even provide for his family fully. This boy said this before record crowd. He said it is a sad reality for us to have followed in this path. But today we have recognized that after these elections, the first round, they left us without even gratitude, but the president was able to reach out to us despite we didn't vote for this president. Wow. So we are giving the president our support today because we are convinced that President George is not just a reconciler, but he's also a president that has got the interest of the young people and the elder at large. Wow. Then the chairperson came up and said the same thing. And said, we have been in the trenches supporting Bwaka's initiative for his election. But the manner and form in which we were taking, only a few persons of hierarchical nature, people who Bwaka sees as either elitist or bourgeois or close relations to him, are the ones he gave the preference and he identifies with them. But for us, that has been in the trenches, in the slums, in the ghettos, and everywhere, we have not been recognized. And because of this, we have decided to give our votes to the president. Wow. So it was a big, and interestingly, the Islamic community, I want to use this medium to say thank you. I was caught by surprise. Bwaka was gowned, Costa was gowned, I was gowned, Kalasco was gowned. We were gowned in the presence of the chief imam and elder of Margibi County. He picked up the microphone. He said, in the history of Liberia, since he been knowing himself, this is the only president that has directly identified with the Islamic community, that they can feel, that they can see. He said, imagine the boy went to school, Islamic school, he's not Muslim. But he became president, went back to the same place and has supported our children. He said, me who am an imam, I'm old now. But I can tell you for free that what this president has done for us, that decision that was made by ACO in Monrovia, by the chairman, is his own decision. It's telling by we're not going to, we're not really listening. Titi, the program was attended by thousands of young brothers and sisters and elderly mothers and fathers, uncles. And I saw an elderly woman, she was almost like 90 years old plus, coming with a cane in her back, is very bent, wow, making her way up the steepest stairs. And she touched each of our hands and said, let Allah bless you people because I was so winning the election. She said, in my old age, I still recognize and appreciate what the boy doing. Wow. It was a touching moment for all of us that were there today. And it gives me a different impression of the hatred that has been expressed to the president by members of the Unity Party, especially the Joseph Bwaka factor. A few handful of people that just surround themselves around Bwaka who believe that the presidency is their birthright. The people are angry. The people said these people have nothing to show to Liberians. They have realized that these guys are only coming back to hold on to state coffers and suppress them. The people talked about how the president has improved the education sector, even in Margibi County, where Islamic brothers and sisters could not even afford to go to public schools. Today they can afford it. The Islamic children who graduate from high school, who could not afford UL or other places, even or BWI, they talked about how the president has enhanced the education environment in the county.
So this speaks volume, and I'm just thinking about what is going to happen in other counties, because it was just yesterday that the standard bearer of ACOP, along with some members of his party, endorsed former Vice President Joseph Yuma Bwaka's bid for the presidency, right? And that didn't go just like that, because we saw his vice standard bearer and his followers also endorsing President Weah. And we even spoke with his chief security, Lieutenant Kamara's chief security, who is the chairperson of the concerned group of ACOP citizens. If this can be happening today after yesterday, a big endorsement in Margibi County of the Islamic community towards President Weah. Mind you, ACOP is a party, and that party got votes from all over the country, right? And so I'm just wondering about what's going to happen in other counties.
In fact, there was a group there for Koloboli, Lofa County. They make up a good portion of the population there in District 4 and other parts of Margibi County. And they said very clear today that the decision reached by the Islamic community to support the president is not limited to Margibi County. It's going to go beyond in the coming days, because they have unanimously agreed to support the president re-election because they've seen vividly clear without anybody telling them what this president has done. They say every other thing you see happening around you with regards to these people is out of sheer hatred, or ungratefulness, and ingratitude to a leadership that has exposed many young Liberians.
Is it because of what their leaders have done? Because just looking back at what Mr. Kamara said last night, that what Mr. Lucini Kamara did not meet the consensus of, the executive committee. That is why you had a split. Is that why, these people are coming out to really, really oppose what they did with the Unity Party, you think?
Yeah, of course. So the first thing is, I go back a little bit to this morning, right? So 3 of the callers called and said the unfortunate thing about Lucini Kamara is that he has got no true history of the struggle of ACOP as it relates to the people that follows the party. So they are not stressed over his decision, but they're disappointed because he's only making a decision that best suits him and a few other persons. And they say his argument has always been because he's spending money, he spent his money during the campaign.
Okay,
so he makes a decision. And the people are saying no. The votes that ACOP receive for you as standard bearer was given to you by us. So to make a decision like that, you need to come back to us and vote. So because you didn't do it, we are going to make a decision that is going to affect the party. And the decision that is going to affect the party is going to be for a good time because we are going to make sure President Weah is re-elected. Wow. So part of the things we said is that once the president is re-elected, which of course we know, the president is a unifier. He's obviously going to bring back reconciliation to that because the president, imagine, one of the callers said this morning, ACOP, under Madam Salih's administration towards the end, the Unity Party administration towards the end, was considered a dead and dormant party. In fact, they were dusting them off. This cabinet general who came in to do them because all this noise around here about country going to chaos, blah, 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 blah. They never saw the interest of the very Mandingo people. The very Islamic people, they never sought the interest of these people. They were seeking their own interest. When President Weah did the Invisible Park as a means, a way of identifying the late Alhaji G.V. Komar's legacy, he named the page after him.
In honor of, yeah.
To give that unique recognition. And you know why? If you just look across the road from the Invisible Park, there is a huge Islamic school across the road that has provided educational opportunities to many young Liberians, be a Muslim or Christian, whatsoever, schooled there. Okay, I was much smaller when I was at Ash Thompson. The school was in front of us, we were behind. So the president's ability to recognize things that people like Alhaji G.V. Komar had done in this country has shook the Islamic community to the extent that people say, well, if this our son here can realize and recognize, even though Kumar is not around anymore, but he still recognizes Kumar. The work Kumar has done in this country. It has been doing everything he can do to unify us. The first thing he did was he brought an Islamic advisor for the first time that we have issue, we go, we talk to him. He made sure that on the CSA, wherever there's a Muslim holiday, he would tell the people, say, let my people go home. They should not be working, not because of XYZ, they should go home. He made sure that in the public schools, our young sisters are free to wear a hijab without discrimination. And too many other things. And then also in the cabinet, at the level of the cabinet, and in the government, he has brought a lot of young, professional, and hardworking, deserving Islamic brothers on board. So people say, looking at all of these things, then I want Lucini Kamara come and sit down and make decision for us as Islamic community to say thank you to a man who has helped. This is the Braka according to them. This is the former vice president who never identified us. This is the former vice president today, even when he going to speak on program, the very endorsement program that Lucini did for him. Look around him. There was not a single Islamic brother who stood by him or who caters to him on a daily basis in terms of his activities.
Yeah, I don't know how that's for me, it speaks volume. You're going to a program, where the Muslim community is going to endorse you, but your surroundings, people don't see, any, high profile Muslim or Islamic person around you, but yet you carry yourself and you think that kind of endorsement, that somebody say culpable endorsement, right?
Yeah.
Because it's fake. The people who like you because they're the heads, they're going to say, okay, we're going to do it. But the other people who have not seen anything good, anything you have done for them to give you, an opportunity to lead them, they're just going to watch and say, but who's going to put themselves in harm's way in such a way for 6 years? Sad.
Daniel was saying something that, caught my attention. The thing is, what's happening in ARCOP, I think it's because of not too much a consultation. A few group of people in ARCOP are practically taking themselves to be the ultimate voice or voices of the mass number of the people that constitute the political party ARCOP. Now, loosening Camara and a fragment of the people in ARCOP are not the only people who decide for the majority of the people in ARCOP. Now, with all of the developments and all of the things going around the country that are positively affecting the Mandingo or the Muslim or whatever people we're talking about, or this different religion and a group of people, loosening Camara, then they are far away from these things. Let's check far back. When loosening Camara and the rest of the other folks, they were in government, how many of their brothers from the same, a background that they have given help, what were their advocacies to the government that they worked in, that they served or they occupied lucrative positions? What were their advocacies for Muslim students to have, accessibilities like this one is happening now? The free tuition policy is not excluded from Muslim students. No. It's not excluded from Christians. So the ordinary people are benefiting the trickle-down effect of what this government has implemented. Not losing the Camara them. So what is happening in ARCOP currently is because of the lack of efficient, consultation with the vast majority of the people who makes the large decision in the political institution. So because a certain group of people feel that they are at the hem or the echelon of power in the political party, they will just sit in one corner and make the unilateral decision for the vast majority of the people. And I think the people are taking back on the decision of losing Camara and the few folks that want to drive the political party in the way that the vast majority of the people are not contemplating and they are not thinking of going. So if you, like Daniel, is the head and he's driving us in this way, and we know this way wouldn't be the right way for us, we have an alternative to say, no, we're not going this way, but we're going the other way. This is about the future of the people. This is about the life of the people. This is about the destiny of the people. So they make that determination and that decision for themselves. Now, Luzini Kamara has already, had a good time and he had his life. It's all about the ordinary people who have not enjoyed, the quality of education like Luzini and the rest of the other folks have enjoyed. So they are the one making the decision. So you see how it is affecting the entire country. So it's affecting Magibi. It is affecting Monrovia. It is even affecting the hierarchy of ARCOP. To tell you the insufficiency of consultation that is happening in ARCOP right now is getting the whole thing fragmented.
So I'll tell you this. So what is fueling this world awakening is the fact that the young people are consciously aware of what is happening around them. And to listen to these young people, especially the youth wing of ARCOP in Magibi, they were also, up, and they said something. They said, our elders have paved the way for us, educated us, schooled us, and helped us to become what we are today. And they are here and they support the decision that we're making to support this president. And they gave the reasons why. Some of them talked about how they come from a very poor family and how today they can school themselves. How, at least to some extent, they got opportunities unlike before where you have to identify a particular person before. They said for the elders, they said the president need not go ask anybody who to give job to. The president will look at an elder and say, recommend people to me that you trust, that will seek your interest, that will be there for you. You get Abu Bakar that's coming, you get Hassan Kane, you get Manasi Kaba, you get Baka Fofana, you get Seko Kalasco, the praise Seko a lot today. These are people who are forerunners of our people. They are the ones that are bearing the torch, and they are the new generation. So if the elders don't see them as a part and parcel of what is happening under this administration, it will mean that, of course, then the president is now a unifier. So because the president has done all of these things, they are now saying, why is Bwaka angry at this man for what he's doing for us? Why did we afford you 12 years? And in the 12 years, we could not pinpoint even 3 of our children who stood by you when you were as vice president. You had opportunities. You selected your own people and sent them, not our people. Why is it now we've decided to give our vote and our support to somebody who has recognized us beyond the odds of ethnicity? Today, you are going behind some of our leaders who are self-seekers to try to thwart, our mindset for a man that supported our young generation and ourselves that are here. The program.
The sad thing about it is
it was so colorful.
It's about votes, and it's about you going behind there as a person and deciding who you're going to vote for. It's not Lucini Kamara standing up and saying, ARCOP supports this party, and as long as he says so, it's going to be law and gospel.
Law and gospel.
That's the thing about it. So it's your relationship. I think it's the president's relationship with the Muslim community that is paving a way for him. The people are looking at what he has done and continues to do for them, as opposed to a leader saying, a leader who has, a different kind of feeling and believes that because I oppose this man because of some personal reasons, and so my people must oppose him.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell my people to oppose him. But hey, these people you're telling to oppose
they're
him,
not your kids.
They're not the ones who you can just hold and say, I'm going to hold your hand and see that you vote for Unity Party. No, these are people who will go by themselves, who have conscience, and they're going to say, no, wait a minute. This man who our leader is saying we should vote for, if we put him there, it will be a problem for us, because there is not one time where that man has done something for us. And he has been a leader for 12 years. We can pinpoint anything that he has done for us or his government has really done for us. So we're not going to make that decision. I think that's what these people are saying. But again, I think we should leave the ARCOP
let's get done with this ARCOP. Cabinet
Janet also pledged his support today to the Unity Party. And of course, Cabinet Janet was impeached, and it's obvious that he will pledge his support to the Unity Party and not to the ruling coalition for democratic change. But, I listened to him because he didn't speak for long. It was a press conference, not press conference per se. He spoke from, I think, his office.
Oh, okay.
And the only person who went to receive that endorsement was Amanjala, the former pro tem of the Liberian Senate. And Cabinet Janet said to the Liberian people today that President Weah should be removed from power because his government has looted the public resource at industrial state. He says massive corruption, uncontrolled, massive uncontrolled corruption at all levels in government. This government has no regard for the rule of law. The country is in a state of recklessness, close to chaos. And anybody who is a patriotic Liberian should listen to him and remove President Weah from power, because the Unity Party has the answers to Liberia's problems, and that JMB and JKK will return Liberia to the rule of law. And so Liberians should vote for them so that we can have a state of sanctity, stability. And he always will not leave the rule of law. He said
as if he knows the rule of law.
Liberia today under WEI can go no deeper into the pit of lawlessness, according to him.
So let me start this.
Yeah, okay, you start up.
Let me handle that. Yeah, let me handle
You start up. You start up in maybe 3 minutes.
The first thing is,
And you get only 2 minutes.
no, but this is a very serious matter.
You get given 3 minutes.
It's a very serious matter of 2 minutes, because if we have to nip Cabinet Jana's frustration in the bud, we have to do it in a way that our people that are listening will understand this very clearly.
Exactly.
Let me start by saying, impeachment.
I will speak to that also.
Yeah,
because
but
it's Kingsman.
from a general political perspective, I'm speaking from a political perspective, and from a governance perspective. Impeachment by law is done at the House of the National Legislature. It's not the president. Contrary to what he takes around the country, that the president is responsible for his impeachment. That's one. Secondly, if you talk about patriotism, it must be expressed amongst your kingsmen. Your ability to recognize the challenges and things that are desirous of pushing the country forward. What you recognize is that no, this is somebody that has been in abject denial of some of the things that have been happening under this administration. You talk about massive corruption. Over the last 12 years, the United Party government admitted at a conference in Kenya that corruption, as deemed as public enemy number one, much was not done to address that. It is this government he talked about being chaotic that has armed the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission with prosecutory responsibility. They refused. He spent most of his time in the comfort of his chambers, whining and dining and looking away from these things. Made millions of dollars on the backs of our ordinary poor people. The looting he's talking about, this is the government who recognized that over 150,000 young Liberians were put under the classroom because of the deployability of different classrooms and the lack of materials to school our brothers and sisters. But folks like Janet were educating a selected few of his brothers and sisters in Harvard University, in Cambridge, and other places around the world. These are the people that have come back today to say to our young people that because a man educated you, open your eyes, he's corrupt. They have come back to say, because a man has kept the peace for the last 6 years, he's not, the country is in chaos. You see, look, when you better about something that somebody has achieved, the best way to go about it is to go through the democratized process. Jana, and listen also, this is the second person that's making this statement. A man who history recalls as one of the solid progressives that struggled with William R. Talbot to have a say in our body politics, H. Bremer family, was on one of these radio stations again. Saying just exactly what Cabinet is saying. So we are already aware that what they're trying to do is that they've already aware that President William is going to win elections. To see themselves waiting another 6 years.
The widow.
No, coming now. So the only thing they can do is to create a level of insecurity among our people.
Impression of insecurity.
And the good thing is, our international partners are watching and they're listening. Liberia has been rated among one of the most democratized, peaceful countries in Africa. The tenets that the president expressed to ensure peace and security amidst the challenges. How many African leaders wouldn't have muscled oppositions when what President William went through? We saw a series of protestations. We saw this president convoy being attacked broad day. Cabinet Janet, did that ever happen under Manasseh's administration? Did that ever happen under Charles' administration? The enrichment of the National Transitional Legislative Assembly that brought some of them to the boat on board. Did that happen?
You know, they just.
You think Liberians are crazy? They paying that sense to know that this president is really using his willingness might to expose this country to things that they never thought would have happened. Cabinet should go sit down there.
I know we don't have much time. Cabinet.
Yeah, you should go sit down.
Cabinet Jana is angry. He's really, really angry. He thinks
we are angry too.
This is a time that he can,
we are positively angry too today.
To impose his will
Who is he?
on people who he think are his followers. He's so angry that he's not anymore at the courts, and being an associate justice of the Supreme Court, it comes with a lot of benefits
A lot.
that he doesn't get anymore.
He misses.
And he's angered about that, and that's all I see in his,
Imagine
his
being there
press-
reaches the 5 years.
his
In that country
press-
council.
his press conference today, and he says, how will you say that, Liberia, we're in a state of recklessness and chaos? Who do you tell that to, and that person believes
But what's
you?
his definition of recklessness and chaos?
What is that? And we can return Liberia to that.
The last time we were on the show, and we were counting the 10 most peaceful African countries. Liberia was among those numbers.
But do that now, you see the same thing.
You understand?
So,
So if you talk about recklessness and chaos, he needs to interpret his own concept of recklessness and chaos. So it tells you how these people want to resuscitate.
it's about them. It's not
Yes,
about Liberia.
they want to
It's
resuscitate
about how
their
Kabina Jana can
their
come back.
wasteful financial life. Like Daniel was saying, he struck few things that I just wanted to talk about in maybe 2 minutes.
No, 2 minutes too long. 1 minute you got. 1
Okay,
minute. And
you gave Daniel 2 minutes. Okay,
My man, that is it.
1 minute. Oh, no Brian, Chief, no Brian. So he talked about the Unity Party having the how you call it, the answers, right? The answers under whose administration, under whose supervision will the Unity Party, have the answer to address the multiplicity of Liberia problems. Now let's look at the individual who is vowing to be the president of Liberia. He sat as the deputy, right? He sat as the deputy for 12 years. 12 years with all of the massive corruption that happened in this country, with everything you could tell me about that was contrary to productivity and to progressing the future of this country. Everything. He was a very quiet, taciturn, and silent man, and he didn't speak about it in a dying minute when he said we had all of the opportunities, some of the opportunities, whatever the opportunities may be, but we squandered those opportunities. This is the man who have admitted that the opportunities were squandered, and it is under whose leadership that these things are going to be utilized and maintained under this man's leadership. This is the irony of what we call rescued. So you talk about Liberia being redeemed. Is Cabinet Johnny actually serious? What has been his role, you understand, in advocacy since he talking about Liberia does not have rule of law, the country has been looted on a financial scheme or whatever scheme he's talking about, recklessness, chaos, and all of these, things that doesn't even sound good in the ears of people. What was his role as Cabinet Janet? He was swimming.
Don't say it as Cabinet Janet, as an
As an
associate
associate justice of the Supreme
As an
Court.
associate justice.
You
Because-
should be ashamed of
because-
yourself,
because
so you
he was
must say it.
swimming.
Yeah, because he wasn't an individual
He was swimming.
with Washington. He was somebody who was
had
clothed
powers.
with legal responsibilities
Exactly.
to interpret the law for our people. So for you to say an individual, he was not an individual. So, but you see, go are the days when Liberians will remain unserious. Our people are alert. The people know the sheep now from the goats.
Exactly.
On a serious note, nobody's going to play with the future here. So Cabinet can cry for Nano tomorrow. You can say what you want to say. What I saw in Magiri County today is a complete disconnect of Cabinet's philosophy. The Islamic community, they are angry positively to ensure this power retire. The people children, the Abu Bakar Ba, themselves deserve a future.
They think you hear me.
We're not going to take it. Get ready here.
Okay, so let's welcome.
Man, take it here.
Let's welcome.
Gotta come on inside.
But you know that I wasn't to call it.
No, but we
So let's
we were in
welcome
it.
you guys. Hello.
We were in the discussion.
So let's welcome Minister Abubakar Ba, who is our guest this evening on Open Conversation. Minister Ba is from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and he represents the Islamic community in Liberia also. So we're going to hear from him today, and a lot more. Minister Ba, welcome to Open Conversation. It's been a while. How you doing?
Well, thank you very much.
Number 5, his microphone.
Oh,
You want a minute, huh?
And we want to know how we invite him back.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Teti Jebo, and to my dear brother Danny Nooks and your co-host, who enjoy his support to this open conversation. I think my first time meeting him, but he's a wonderful co-host
Thank you.
as well. I'm very happy to be here, and it is a wonderful day. It's a Friday,
Weekend.
and we went
To the mosque.
to the mosque.
I like that.
She know that's what I want to say. And we pray. We
So,
pray for the continued positivity of our nation and our dear president, President Josh Manuwea, who has demonstrated that he's a leader beyond borders.
Yep.
Whether you're Muslim or Christian, an atheist, George Weah just the kind of president who identifies with everybody, not at a particular time, just because he needs votes. No. If you look at the historicity of this president, you realize that when he was a professional soccer player, he was being dubbed as the most benevolent footballer, the most benevolent Liberian alive. He went to every refugee camp across the world to identify with Liberians who were catching hard time because of the civil crisis that we were undergoing. But then this man called Josh Manuwea was not thinking about wanting to become president.
No.
When he donated buses to the University of Liberia, when today a lot of things are happening. So just as an introductory statement to say that we're very happy to be associated with if not the greatest Liberian alive, but one of the greatest because of his role that he played in making sure that Liberia is known for the positive reason. Yes, so we're very happy.
thank you so much. And we're happy to have you this evening also. And most especially, we want to hear from you. You are, you represent the Islamic community also in Liberia because you are a part of that community. And we've been seeing number of endorsements all over the place. The ruling coalition for democratic change that you support from the day elections were, and the National Elections Commission announced that campaign was open for the runoff, your party has been receiving lots and lots of endorsements, unlike the Unity Party that is going against the ruling party. One endorsement that the Unity Party holds so dearly is that endorsement from ARCOP, because that is the one they believe is going to put them on top. But ARCOP is a face, that party is a face of the Islamic community. And so yesterday, a faction of ARCOP carrying along the standard bearer of ARCOP, who is Lucini Kamara, endorsed the Unity Party. And the vice standard bearer and other members of ARCOP endorsed the CDC. What came to your mind, after the endorsement of the Unity Party by ARCOP as a member of the Islamic community?
Okay, thank you very much. You got it very well. I'm one of the very influential young Muslim personality in this country. I play a very key role in the National Muslim Council of Liberia. So I'm well abreast, about issues happening within the Islamic corridor. So I'm not a novice. So the table that you found, some of these guys who are giving support here and there in the wrong direction, seeking their own personal agenda, and or fighting what I call grievances that they are carrying, as a result of what they seem was a making of President Josh Manawia.
Yeah.
But the reality here is that, let me tell you, it is just take an example of a bag of rice. It is the bag and then the grains. And I think what the Unity Party benefited from, the likes of Lucini Camara, it is the empty bag. Yeah, the greens, you cannot, they are uncountable in the bag of rice. Even the 25 kg is uncountable. And that is what CDC has benefited from. What am I saying? If you look at the composition of those who endorse the CDC yesterday, it is a combination of the vice standard bearer who has been elected in this country, former senator of Grand Cape County, Murphy Dablo. He comes from Grand Cape County, where you have a huge portion of that county to be Muslims. Okay, he has been tested. Mr. Lucini Camara has never gotten an elected position. Okay, all of the positions that he has gotten is as a result of a power sharing government leadership. So he's got no record of being elected. So he's got nobody. Absolutely no constituency that has been tested. The people with the constituency, we know all of them. And if you're talking about movers and shakers of current day reality in the Islamic community, Lucini Camara is not one of them. The only reason that he benefited votes of 35,000 across the country is as a result of his association with the ACO party, the legacy of Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah. Yep. But Mr. Lucini Camara is a selfish, self-seeking woman. You do not see him in any Islamic gathering.
So convince me now.
So,
and let me hold you there.
Yep.
If Lucini Camara is a self-seeking woman, how did he come to be, the head of this party that represents, the majority of the Islamic community?
No, this is what I want you to understand. He managed to catapult himself to the position of the standard bearership of the ACO party.
Are you saying he bought his way?
Yes, that could be because he served as finance minister, commerce minister, so he may have collected some dollars and what have you. So he managed to maneuver his way to heading the political party.
That's a regular political process.
But he has got no standing within the Islamic community. He cannot gather on his own without ACOB, detachment of ACOB. Lucini Camara cannot gather 200 persons. That I know. Because I am within the Islamic community. The movers and shakers are there. People like Lucini Belity. People like Musa Hassan Belity.
Yep.
People like Sheikh Abubakar Sumauru. There are many of them in that category who have got followers. When they provide position statement, people listen within the Islamic community. But Mr. Camara is just a beneficiary of the legacy of Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah.
So what would you say about the people we saw out there?
So what happened was, if you look through the picture, you see a lot of familiar Unity Party partisans. One of them is Charles Roberts. Many of them. So what Unity Party did was they transported a lot of their partisans and normal partisans who are always gathered at the protestations against President Weah's policy, and then gave them ACO printed T-shirts, and then made it look like this is partisans of ACOP. They are not ACOPians. No, they're not. They are not. They are not a representation of the Islamic community, and this is why it has backfired. It has backfired to the higher level. That is why you see Murphy Dablo, from the running mate to him is not with him. He went to the CDC. That is why you've seen his Women League. They are with the CDC. That is why you've seen the Youth League are with the CDC. What do you think? It is not listening to Lusini Kama. He's got no control. He's got no control of ACOP, including my own friend, Cabinet Janet. He's got no control of ACOP.
How will you say that Kabina Jane has no control? He is a former associate justice of the Supreme Court.
The position is not just by occupation, but it's about relevance, it's about service to humanity, it's about your relationship to people, it's about how you connect to people. Mr. Johnny, I'm sorry to say, but he's been one of those, elite former government officials who was very difficult to interact with.
Very true.
And that is going to haunt him. That's why you saw during his press conference. Did you see anyone around him?
No.
Being a journalist, and then that defeated former senator of Bapuru County, who is also angry. So it is, what I call, these are carriers of grudges, and we are not responsible for them. But this is what I tell you. The Islamic community, you listen to some of us. To power. He sent 30 Liberian Muslims to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj. In 2019, just before the COVID, he sent 100 Liberians to Saudi Arabia. Of our prophet, that you slaughter an animal, the president will provide cows, sheep to all countries across the country, targeting Muslims. And this is a president that he is not ashamed to identify with Muslims. And this is why you've seen a young man like me from a forgotten and marginalized group in society, the Fulani. We are in minority, but the president is aware that Abu Bakr Ba has been one of those foot soldiers who have been championing my cause to the presidency since 2005. And I become president, and he's educated, well qualified. Why don't I give him an opportunity to serve his country? Yeah. This is the president, as Daniel said. I listened to him yesterday and today. He said, for the first time in the history of this country, the Muslim people are represented within the office of the president.
Yep.
When the president put his advisors together, Muslims, they have a voice there.
Many.
When Reverend Nina is representing the Christian religion, Osman Tijalo
is representing
the Islamic community.
Correct. Which is rare.
This is something that has never happened since the foundation of this country. People have been making that call. That look, while it is true that Christianity is the leading religion, but there are Muslims here too. They deserve a voice within the government. The president provided religious advice. He did not stop there. Today, you have Idris Belete at GSA.
Yep.
Today, at LACRA, you have Musa Koni. Today, at the Ministry of Gender, you have Maman C. Kaba. Today, at the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority, you have Lassana Salon. Today, in many parts of the government, you have lots of Muslims. For the sake of, if I am to call all of the Muslims who have been appointed in this government by President Weah, we will not end the show on time. So the president appoints us in government, in decision. This is the height of love that the president can show.
So let's go back a little bit to the 12 years Joseph Yomon Boaka served as vice president of this country. And let's talk about what the Muslim people or the Islamic community was offered by the Unity Party government, as opposed to what is happening with that community now under the George Weah administration.
So you see, there are a lot of young people, and this is very important. And there are some people that love to do tribalism. I'm a Muslim and I fear nothing. Let me tell you that. One of your regular caller, Amara Infofana, is sending me a text message threatening me.
Can you imagine that?
Because I'm speaking against Cabinet Jani. Because Cabinet Jani is from the same ethnic group. We're not here for ethnicity. We are here for the love of Liberia. Liberia stand tall against every tribe. Let's be very clear with that. So I am not afraid. If you like and you can do nothing to me. Nobody can do anything. When you support the Unity Party, these are the threats that you people send to people who are going against people. You contested on the Unity Party ticket in 2017. You were massively whipped. You later on went to LPP. You were also whipped. You are just a beaten drum. So you're nothing, Amara. So let's move on. I just wanted you to know that.
It's just he's not only nothing, but a very angry, beating drum.
I think he's a distraction.
The same thing happened, Abu. The same thing happened to Costa when he was here. They sent him a message threatening his son.
Yes, that's what they do. The Unity Party. So these are the people that want power. That want power. If you want power, you have to be civil, respectful, and very tolerant as you can. Do you know how many times people insult the presidency? Do you know how many times people disagree with President Weah? Do you know how many times ELBC then that they will not bring people who disagree, who have different views to governance against the ruling establishment? But you people bring people here, all of the major actors, political leaders, you people have invited them because President Weah is the leader of the country. Who told you that President Weah doesn't listen to this? So let's be very clear here. Nobody can threaten us. The Unity Party, they know that they are drowning. And because they are drowning, they are resorting to threats, intimidation, manipulations, and scare tactics. And I am a gorilla in political affairs in Liberia. So you are just a bigot. Let me tell you that.
Okay. Thank you for addressing him that way. Let's go back. To I want to do a comparison. I hear you talk about, President Weah, was sent that number of Muslims to Mecca. 100 is a huge number, right? The president, has a lot of Islamic brothers and sisters in his government. I want us to go back a little bit to the reason why Lucini Kamara would give ALCOP to Joseph Yuman Boaka. It should be because of what the Unity Party government did for the Islamic community. Are there tangibles?
There are no tangibles, and the tangibility is an issue of imaginability when it comes to Boakai. Mr. Boakai, there's a video that is making rounds on Facebook, and it's very authentic. You see him standing in a church, praising the pastors for the role they play. And I hate to say this.
To reduce the spread of Islam?
Yes, that the pastors, that church play a pivotal role, that Islam did not expand. So he sees the expansion of another faith as a threat to him. And this is why you've seen all throughout your vice president of this country, there's no single Muslim who works in his office.
Wow.
There's no single Muslim who work in his office. And all those that you see around, look around him, the like of Patrick Horner, the like of
Jacob Colley,
this one,
Charles Collins,
this one, Charles Snanter, who does that. Do you see any Muslims around? Don't you have qualified Muslims who are supporting Boakai? Some of them, they disagree on different issues. They go to the extent, to the intellectual teeth to defend him, but he's ashamed to identify with them. And so if you can be celebrating the perceived misfortune of a particular religion, it means that you are against the practitioners of that religion.
Correct. Totally agree.
He's against it. And nowhere that we have seen that Joseph Boakai has gone to a mosque.
Even the
I go to church. I'm not a Christian. I go to church. Madam Titi Jibe, you have seen me.
course.
Many times when you cover me when I was with campaigner for change.
Of course.
Many days we go to church. Our Thanksgiving Sunday, we go to the mosque, we go to the church.
Yep.
I go to
That's
them.
the point you're making.
Because
throughout this campaign, we have not even seen, Ambassador Boyd
a single mosque.
I was thinking,
identified with the people who, the people who today he wants to join his.
And that's a troubling reality.
And this is what sets,
That's a troubling
this
reality.
is what sets President George Weah far apart from Boakai. If you're looking at religious tolerance,
He is religious.
if you're looking at religious tolerance, President Weah, he understands the rapport. When he goes to the mosque on invitation of the Islamic community, President Weah dresses like a Muslim man.
Yep.
Now, when you see him, you run
He's
to
part
him.
of us.
Religious tolerance and acceptance.
That's why I wanted to ask you, Abu. Judging from the background of ethnicity or religiosity, what would be your advice for your Muslim brothers? Because Titi was saying something. All through these campaigns, let's be honest here. We don't have a record of the former vice president, going to the mosque. Let's be honest.
Well, today
Well, today is Friday. He's already missing. We've got one more Friday, and I'm sure they will do all they can to take him to the mosque next Friday.
Then we will know that it is a deception,
A hypocrisy.
a hypocrisy.
Absolute deception.
What will you, the Islamic community, is listening? A man who has rarely aligned with that particular segment of the Liberian people, and you see your leaders giving the political party ACOP to vice president, former vice president
leaders.
So the lead,
a fragment
yes,
That's the way to put
of
it.
your leaders giving the political party ACOP to a man who rarely associate himself with that particular segment of the people. What will you advise they do?
well, let me tell you this. If you do not like me, I don't have any reason to like you.
Yep.
I should leave you alone. Just as how Joseph Boakai pretends and behaves and believes that Muslims do not exist. And to go to the extent, let me say this to you, Titi, and your colleagues here. In some part of 2021, earlier part, September, no, 2019, September 18. I vividly remember that day because it was the day I was putting my second child, giving my second child name. And there was a very tragic moment in the history of the Islamic community here. You remember that was
What
the
did you
time
put down?
you have about 37
Is it school children?
yes,
Yeah, that fire. Yeah.
that fire
We talked about it
incident,
earlier.
it took away the lives of 27 kids plus their instructors, making that 30 persons. Took 30 persons when they died. Do you know what happened? It happened at night by 4 a.m. By 5:30, President Weah was there.
Yeah, he was there.
It happened 4:30 in the morning. By 5:30 in the morning, a.m., the president should be in bed.
Yeah, he was there.
Right?
Already there.
He was already there. He was there in the darkness until those children were being the remains were extracted.
Exactly.
Very painful and mournful day to remember. All of us were in tears, and they took those babies from there in red light. President Weah, do you know what he did? He went back home. He said, "I need to go back home and change and come for the funeral." The bodies were taken to 17th Street Mosque.
Yeah.
The entire Islamic community was. I was the MC. Do you understand? There was not any single representation of the Unity Party.
But these are people that
The
were
Unity
present.
Party never came as a political party to identify. Even Mr. Alexander Comey came.
Wow.
He came to identify with us that day. I called him up. Other political party leaders, they came.
Maybe Ambassador
Joseph Boakai, he was here.
Oh, okay.
He did not go there.
The Unity Party as
The
well.
president was there. We prayed over the bodies and took them to the grave. The president also followed to the grave. There are 3 areas you are going to where the incident occurred. The mosque,
and
then at the
site
cemetery for burial. He was there to bury it, and then came back and sat with the family, and they went to the school and promised that school will be rebuilt, and that school has been rebuilt long since. That is what you call love for religious tolerance and inclusion.
And the families of those people should listen to Lucini Camara to vote.
They're not listening. And many of them, they are angry. And listen, let me say this. It's very important. This is very important. The president did not start there because it happened in September. And every October, the president goes to the United Nations General Assembly. When he went there, he told the entire world, the presidents who were there, he asked them to observe a moment of silence.
Yep, I remember.
That a portion of his population has been paid very high. And as a father, he feels so terrible about it, but he has to speak.
Wow.
And that happened at the highest level. Today, many of those parents, they call some of us. They appreciate. They say if there is nothing that this person has ever done to melt their heart, his sense of humility, love for his fellow mankind, to go to that all of these places, he wasn't proving any point, but that's his nature. His nature is caring for people.
Yep.
Unlike Joseph Boakai, you do not see him anywhere doing anything that identifies with Muslims. So these people who are out from the Islamic perspective, you go and give support to Joseph Newman Boakai. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you to the latter.
But they gave him a petition and they believe that he's going to when he becomes president, he's going to make that happen for him. I always say this, that when the president goes anywhere to meet a group of people, those people have something to give to the president. Say, Mr. President, you are here today. You are the president of this nation. This is what we want you to do for us as a people. And so the president receives that, but he comments on that, whatever they're giving him, that request, and say to them, we will do this, or we'll do that, we'll do the other. That has not been the case with Ambassador Boakai. Yesterday, he was given a petition by the Muslim community, which I don't know whether he will be president or he's going to implement. But one thing he said was that, when I become president, I will ensure that the Muslims and the Christians live together in harmony. Are the Muslims and the Christians in Liberia not living together in harmony?
Listen, Titi Jebro, when you have a statement who is challenged age-wise, sometimes you tend to forget about the daily reality in the country.
True.
We are long past that era, the era of confrontation between Muslims and Christians. Especially so under President George Maniwia. Whenever he's seated in the executive mansion, he calls a meeting, Reverend Nene opens the meeting, opening prayer, and then Usman Jallo closes it from the Islamic perspective. Or at all national programs, that it is done the same way. You check in the cabinet, there are Muslims there. Everywhere, there's no confrontation between Muslims and non-Muslims. We are only trying to advocate for how we can make these relationships that are existing
stronger
to be stronger. That is what we look forward to.
And
your yesterday can tell us that your tomorrow we're going to be living in a state of exclusion. Of course, a state of being neglected by Joseph Newman Boakai. This is why you've not seen any Muslim. Even look at this, the leaked cabinet listing of the Unity Party. The listing that they would use to lead in the Republic of Utopia, because they're not winning any election anytime soon.
Of course.
If you look at that listen, you do not see any Muslim there.
Even Mo Ali is not even
You do not see any Muslim. No Muslim is there. You do not see young people there. Mr. Bakai's exclusionary tactics does not only go down to the Islamic community, but also goes down to the younger folks.
You don't even see.
If you look at the 2017 campaign team, they're all old people.
the old folks were warning right after the vote.
This year they had to go and readjust when they realized that President we are appointed some of us on the campaign team. There are young people. Even in the CDC campaign team, there are lots of Muslims there.
Of course.
I'm one of them.
Of course.
The vice chair for the Women League, Maria Maso.
Exactly.
She's there. She is a Muslim. We have a whole section within the CDC political party that is recognized by our standard bearer, the entirety of the party called Islamic Affairs.
Yep.
These are
The only party that has that. That's
They don't have that. The last time I checked, I saw them doing appointment of some guys who has got no understanding of Islam to be Islamic coordinator. We have a whole section. They have an office at the CDC headquarters. They have a leadership that is decentralized across the country.
Yep. I met some of them today.
They have been supported by the party. You met some of them today.
I met some of them today.
So the backfiring of the declaration of support by Mr. Lucini Kamara of ACOP is as a result of his selfish agenda to promote his personal gain at the expense of the broader population of the Muslim community. This is why you see Magibi has risen up. The ACOP session of Magibi, they have spoken out that hey, we are not part of him.
Yeah,
this is why his vice chancellor say, hey, we're not part of him.
Yep.
His youth league, hey, we're not part of him. Women's league, hey, we're not part of him. And as we go across the country, because we have received tons of calls from across Muslims, leaders, imams, clerics, they said that they want to let the president know that they are not in support of what Mr. Lucini Kamara did. Mr. Lucini Kamara, like I said, is a beneficiary of Mr. Alhaji G.V. Skrumman legacy. And that is why he got 35,000 votes.
Yep.
Not because of him Lucini Kamara, because of what he may have done to impact Muslims in the country. No.
And the people were convinced that.
So now that he's not on the party's ticket, there's no ACOP on the ballot paper. These people, they are going to make their decision on the basis of the two presidential candidates, George Weah and Joseph Boakai. The two of them, who has impacted their life, who was associated with them, who has got more Muslims around them. Today, I'm coming.
Yeah, bro.
Today,
inject something.
A very young librarian, very generous, Seko Kalasco Damaro.
Yep.
Kalasco has got scholarship. I don't need to say this. He's got people he's helping all across the 15 counties.
I saw it. Daddy Mark gave it today too. I was very much impressed.
Kalasco is not, is a what? He's a Muslim.
Yep.
That man, what is his work? To do anything and everything for the president.
He could choose to look away from people.
He could choose, the president could be sitting, say, Kalasco, I want to drink tea.
Yep.
The president will entrust it.
So that means the trust of the, just imagine the president's personal activities is entrusted into the hands of somebody who people at Baka would never accept.
He would never do. In his whole employ.
Can you imagine that?
There's no association. What a fake cabinet listing. What there is a tragedy in the land. Even listen, there was a replica. I hate to say that because I become emotional. In 2007, during
our Christian Muslim crisis.
No, during the incumbency of President Sirleaf.
Okay.
A very popular diamond broker from the Islamic community. He lived on Kerry Street, where now you have the City Plaza. That place was gutted by fire at night. He and 7 members of his family.
Yeah.
I remember that story.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Do you know
That was
that
a tragedy.
the Unity Party government then, they did not vote there? The entirety of the Unity Party government, they did not vote there.
Wow.
But
They were not there.
you were saying something. You were trying to eject something. If Blanca can say a Henry Costa has a plan to kill him, how can he entrust an Islamic man with his personal activity, like you were saying? Now you see, the president's personal activity is entrusted in Emela Kalasco. You understand? Boaka, who Costa sometimes, like he said, goes to the kitchen, makes some preparations, when he visits, raises money.
They say let Costa Jolores.
Yeah, I'm saying, you let Costa Jolores. So I go to the kitchen, the lay small technique my man teach me. I can put it together for that. Papa, he come in the living room, we eat. And this man will go and text Costa a whole script and say, I have discovered that you have a plan to kill me. How can this man even incorporate the Islamic community around him?
It is not in him. He has never exemplified that. He does not show that he loves Muslims being around him. And this is why his entire activity as a vice president for 12 years, as Minister of Agriculture, as Labour Ambassador to the UK, litany of position that he has held in government over the last 45 years or so, up to the position of vice president. Mr. Baka has got no Muslim that he has employed, that he has given life to.
But Abu, sorry to you. But the man said, I like the way we're talking about this because history has a way of reminding all of us.
Exactly.
So 2017 elections were around the corner. In 2015, August 22nd, he was on Voice of America. And he praised the successes of the Salif administration and attributed that to himself, that based on what Madam Salif has done, he was going to win elections. Madam Salif made recommendations of several names to him to accept as his vice running mate. The first person she called was the late Charles Water Bromsky. He responded to the president by saying that Bromsky is a Congo man. He's not going to be a stand-up bearer that his VSB will be a Congo man. He went back. Madam Salif pushed Bresonga, who she believed comes from the Baza Bear. That's why you see Gwen Baza responded when he responded. He again informed Ellen that Bresonga is presumably a Baza member, he's a Congo man.
Congo Baza.
So the scenario I'm painting is this is a statesman who is acutely concentrative with tribalism. He only believes that once you're not from the native side, according to his, a certain portion of the native side, you can't be part of him. This is a proven thing today. Just after he said yesterday, when he become president-elect, Muslim children will play with Christian children, right? Mm-hmm. Today, Titi, the multitude of people I saw at that program, the refreshments that was provided by the Islamic community. They cooked the meal with ATT. Even the people who went to attend our program, they fed everybody. That's not all. The food they had on the table for us, Costa, myself, Puaka, Kalasco, and the representative elect. In fact, the representative elect is not from the Islamic community. But guess what? They overwhelmingly voted that man. We all sat on our table. People came. I saw over 8 imams. The Islamic elders that were there, over 8 imams. And to even shock you, the head imam for Magini County was there. We all came on our table. People took the spoons. Everybody eating from the same pan.
So where does he get this?
Waka is completely disconnected if it relates to the things happening with the people.
He's out of touch with
reality. Because I was just laughing today as a look. I was just laughing.
The thing about it is, somebody always calls on the show. I don't remember the name of this person, but he always says that, you can fight grace.
You can't.
Absolutely.
And if you fight grace, what you get is disgrace. Mm-hmm. President Weah is not a Muslim.
No.
He's a Christian.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say because I'm
a Christian,
so I deal with people who are Christians.
Mm.
He says, no, I am a leader of a country that has Muslims and Christians and what other religion we have. What other religion we have in Liberia. He doesn't discriminate. It's not because you are from another tribe that he's not going to, associate with you, because he knows that as a leader, you have to lead by example. That is the difference between President Weah and Ambassador Bouaka. If Ambassador Bouaka wants you to help him, that's when you will see him come to you. An example is what happened on former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's birthday.
Recently, right?
Yes. Last day, former President Sirleaf was expelled from the Unity Party.
2017, her birthday.
We have not
expelled
seen
with insult.
Yes.
On 2017, her birthday.
As if to say,
thank you.
I mean, he does not have girls, children, or he does not have any member of a family who is a woman. And he sat there, those desperate boys, disrespectful boys, insulted that lady.
And he never said
anything.
And these are the same people he surrounds himself with. And he thinks that, the one person, you can take anything, if you can take anything from President Sirleaf, she is the Maradona of Liberian politics.
You can't take that away.
You can't take that from her.
It's not possible.
This woman, you go to church with her on her birthday when you did not win elections and you won her backing because you were so desperate for the presidency. And you think that this Maradona of Liberian politics is just going to allow you whatever you want because after 6 years you have come to reconcile with her. And you say you're going to rescue Liberia when you waited for you to not win an election and one President Sirleaf's support and her birthday felt within that time, you take a flower pot to her. I can imagine what was going through President Sirleaf's, heart when she was, receiving that from Ambassador Bouaka. But it's sad because you must lead by example. What are you telling Liberians as a statesman? We call Ambassador Bouaka an elderly statesman. What are you telling us? Is that what we do? When we offend people, we wait until we need assistance from those people. Then we go back to them to say, I'm sorry for what I did to you.
Prior to the elections of this 2023, Mr. Bouaka has only visited Lofa County.
He
for 2017.
The other election.
And the only thing that carries him there
is because he wants to
vote on the people. Either there's a by-election there.
Of course.
And that is why the people notice him. When he went there, Senator Jala whipped him. Whip his candidate.
All his forces he took.
And what he does, he uses Banga to go, and when he's coming back, he passes through Sierra Leone. But he does not come back to tell the people thank you or to appreciate the people.
No, Abubakar, it's not. But he says that he was in FOIA, and he says that, look, I am not coming back here. I am not coming back. I'm not coming back here means that if you don't vote for me, I will not come back here. And I'm going through Sierra Leone back to Monrovia. So Ambassador Bouaka is not going back to Lofa County until he becomes president.
And this is why the people of Foya continue to put pepper in his eyes. Political pepper water.
People eyes are opening.
People are abreast.
People eyes are opening.
Politically, there is a.
It was first that when he goes to Lofa County, he say, "Hey, TDGB is from Krenkwe. Tell my people you kick out to the Senate. Oh yes, they agree. I'll pass it. We'll do it. No. The people now know that Joseph Bouaka only comes to them when he wants something from them. And if he comes to them, can you imagine? Joseph Bouaka has been vice president for 12 years, and I always listen to that your interview you had with that old man in Wasonga. You ask him, he said, you have your vice president is from here. That interview was during Ellen time. The woman said, we know nothing, we don't see nothing here for the vice president. He said, even fine, he does not. You wanted to help him to say, oh, let him say the Bible, you're fine. He said, no, boy.
But interestingly, at the time, they said, even with that, they said, but we'll vote for him because our uncle, right? In 2017.
Yes.
That is why he got the votes he got. But when the scale was removed from the eyes, this time around, it was a totally different thing.
It's a totally different thing. And this is why you've seen that CDC has gotten enough vote in Lofa County. And it is even going to be done more. Because you know why? George Weah is a leader. Do you know what is a legacy of a leader? He makes a lot of leaders.
Yep. And that's why
he do not only create followers. People just follow. No, he make leaders. Leaders make great leaders. And George Weah made Sir Joseph, a son of Lofa County. George Weah made Thomas Fala, a son of Lofa County. Jefferson Koji, a son of Lofa County. Samora Wolokoli, Janga Augustus Cole.
Yes.
Percy Yeke.
Yes.
Morris Simon, Mamasi Kabala.
Jesse Kobe.
Do you know how many of them?
There are
a lot of Baka Fofana. There are a lot of them. The list goes on. To the extent that for the first time, all the support that Lofa County, Kwadu Boni, they used to give to Unity Party.
Yep.
They used to hear any party anywhere there. For a year, they never had a minister. It had to take President John Manuel Weah to have appointed Mamasi Kaba from Kwadu Boni, Baka Fofana from Kwadu Boni, and my colleague at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ayuba Fofana from Kwadu Boni. But they were just supporting. Joseph Baka didn't care. All of the appointment came from Foya.
Yep. His
They came
recommendation.
from there.
His recommendation.
Those are the only people. So I'm telling you that the old man is so divisive to the extent that even in his county of origin, he tries to go as far as talking, okay, this person is more closer to me in terms of tongue than, county-wise. So I think I have to promote this person. That's why you saw a lot of President Bani Samuka will carry because he's from there. All these other guys in by-elections, he tried to carry them.
But come to think
So
of it, the
this
Unity
is the
Party
kind of
had
movement.
12 years in power. Joseph Yomon serving as vice president. You have named a lot of, people in government in 6 years who President Weah has, given positions in government from Lofa County. But I can sit here, to count at the top of my head how many Lofians, were in top positions for those 12 years, under the Unity Party.
Except
Browning.
Except kids directly from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf herself, but Baka would not prioritize anybody besides the family.
Exactly.
And this is why you saw what happened. People were not, if you could not empower, advocate for Lofians,
Who are you
who is going to advocate for Islamic people?
But you will see in normal.
You said something. You talk about the skill. I think the people in Lofa County now, politically, the skill has been removed from their eyes, and they are now, starting to see the reality, of their political decisions. Now, if former Vice President Joe Barker cannot, positively and constructively affect the lives of the people in Lofa County, his own county, we're talking about ethnicity and tribalism, right? And somebody want to preach, tribal politics and all of that, saying the people in the Southeast voted overwhelmingly. Now, if you look at in other counties, the monumental developments that President Weah has constructed in these counties, then the Southeast, you understand? Then you wouldn't preach tribal politics, yeah? Then the Southeast people should even be angry why other counties have received.
The Southeast will be angry because there is development in the Southeast.
I'm putting it in a competitive case.
No, but that is a myth.
That's what I want to explain.
That is a myth.
We shouldn't
even
be saying
buy
that.
into that because it's a myth.
The person has done.
We have sat on this radio and you've heard people from River G County
And
they're counting. And they're making it look like, the president.
No, but when you continue to say it sounds like, what they're saying is true.
So
it's not true.
He has not been able to positively help people in Lofa County. See what we are saying.
So it simply means Washington. Meaning that Barker's problem is not about the county he comes from. Like what my colleague said, Barker's problem is basically he's chauvinistic. This is a person who believes only me, myself, and I.
Look at the former vice president.
That's all.
Look at the former vice president's house right here.
She did that road.
His personal surroundings.
It's me, myself, and I.
That is his belief.
The former vice president's house. You know, it's sad.
He lives in the mud.
Exactly.
He had to take President Ria
the courage to face that place.
To face that place.
Yes.
12 years he was vice president. Only his compound had current.
Yes.
He had to take George Weah to take current to the poor people around
the entire surrounding.
Look, leadership is we're not just saying this because we are in support of the president.
Because that was here last night.
These are things
he bought a transformer, $2,500
in front of that is in the yard of the former vice president.
You say what? You kidding me?
Of course.
What did you say?
Costa bought a transformer, $2,500. It's dead now.
The transformer for the former vice president
was
house
bought by Henry Costa.
By Henry Costa,
He was here.
man.
Yes.
Look, you see,
These are revelations.
and this is what you see. People will follow Joseph. But why will you follow a man
Who can take care of
who
him?
tells you that I want to rescue you?
I can rescue
Well,
He
him.
cannot rescue
rescued by
himself.
other people.
You've been in government.
Living on loan.
You've been one of the longest serving librarian in government.
42 years on taxpayers' money.
You've been a leash on taxpayers. Nobody can say, oh, Joseph Barker sent me to school. Nobody can say that school that you see whether Joseph Barker built. Nobody can say, oh, there was a calamity or disaster that occurred on there was a heavy wind
addressed by Joseph Barker.
and Joseph Barker went and bought zinc for the people. Nothing. The only thing you hear people can say what happened exactly is they did this for Joseph Barker. Barker feels that librarians owe him, and nobody owe him anything. All of the time he been in government, he was being paid.
But why should
And he was operating on budget. No, this is it. That's why he does. He go outside and tell them to the extent that to make himself look more pitiful inside, not knowing that he was degrading himself, that you will be 45 years plus in government and you say that you live unknown. But you have money that you are paying to the bank.
That statement alone kills the argument.
That alone tells you that if this man cannot financially rescue himself, what is he coming to rescue?
It also paints a big question mark, Abu, because I listened to the late.
we gotta go to the line
Yes.
so you get
Charles,
we will go to the line.
Abu,
I know the lines.
I listened to the late Charles Water-Bronsky, right? You know what he said? Charles Water-Bronsky had a budget template from 2005 up to 2016. Every year, that former vice president earned $2.5 million.
And never a day that he declared that, oh, okay, this was unused and I returned it.
Aside from that money, in the Senate, those bogus 62 concessions plus that were signed, guess what? 66. Guess what? He had some kickbacks and some signature fees.
As president of the Liberian Senate.
And to come back and say to us that he's living alone, Liberia should really think about that.
Then one of the things, and you struck a very important point there. I want you to ask yourself, when last did you hear Joseph Barker stand up for something? When last?
Never.
All of the time you've been government. President Weah, there was a time here that he stood up for disarmament.
Yep.
He risks his life. Bullets were flying all over the place.
President stand until he full time. Comparing to
the men stood up for the national team. There was no support. He supported the national team.
Yes.
Abu,
He stood up before the war at the Arthur Ashe War 2004.
Exactly.
Everything about this country, George Weah has got serious positive impact there. What has Barker got? Nothing to show. So that's why you see people who has got no impact in the Islamic community shifting support to him.
Many times Mr. Barker takes the podium. He talked about blah blah blah. He talks about this and that. When was the last time he had a budget about $2.5 million every year? When was the last time you ever hear him declare these things to the public and make a public accountability and all of that? But he goes to the public space, he talk about assets declaration and all of that. When was the last time he even raised a concern?
Listen, forget about that. Just recently, the man who is now has replaced Henry Costa and the Ure family in bankrolling the former vice president, putting food on a table, sending bag of rest at a house, buying transformer to put it for him, all of that. It has now transferred to Waterspoon. Who is Waterspoon today?
The man is almost at the person gates.
From the 14th of January, he may not see your family for a very long time.
You know, the sad reality is this is the person who is portrayed as, you know, the integrity ticket.
The integrity icon.
Yeah, the integrity icon, the integrity ticket.
The most experienced.
The most experienced, the best statesman of our country. But he says, and it justifies what Henry Costa said, that the former vice president said he can dance with the devil. You know,
once you can give him money,
as long as you give him what he wants, he dances.
You know, there's a certain kind of ants that comes out whenever there is sugar. That's how the old man is. The more you put the sugar out, the more the old man comes.
Okay,
we could use that.
So we have we'll try these lines and see whether they're gonna work. But let's try it and see if it works fine. If it doesn't work, okay, let's try and see. If it doesn't work, then we will use the telephone lines. But I'll call your number first. And this number he's calling is only for the Islamic community. Trust me, if you call here, you will either speak Fula or Mandingo. There are Muslims. I mean, there are Muslims who are, for example, crown, like Ali Cry, the chief imam is crown.
But you must have some association.
You will say something that make us understand.
Specifically,
yes.
So call us on 0772-03-8240. 0772-03-8240.
That's Islamic, right?
If you are from the Islamic community, that's the number for you to call. If you are not from the Islamic community, then you can call 0770-1926-96.
Okay. So if you are
call from there,
yes.
we'll take one.
So if you are from the Islamic community, call 0772-03-8240. Let's go to the lines and take these calls. Good evening.
Good evening, Washington.
Are you?
Let me say good evening.
Satila, are you from the Islamic community?
Satila, call regular line, please. We got to be formal tonight.
I will take you off.
Call regular line.
Good evening.
Hello?
Oh, you have called.
Yeah, good evening. So, good evening to
Satila,
my
not from
brother.
the Islamic community.
In studio there, Abu Bakaba.
Are you from the Islamic community?
No.
No, I'm on TV, man. I'm Ian Shongwapu, chairman for We Are One Round Victory. Today, let me say thank you to my brother Abu Bakaba. I think I can remember 2017 when you were on the Kids FM having a program. We used to call that. But the news I want to bring to all is today in Grand Bassa County, we, the Bassa people, our 5 electoral districts, who guys are contested. Some of them lost, some of them won. Today we were able to put them together on the leadership of Janji Bapwe, on Vincent Willie, and that of our senator-elect. We were able to bring more than 10 candidates together today that endorse the re-election of the president. As we speak right now, there's a epic meeting going on at the hotel right now, and by tomorrow, by the grace of God, we'll start with the districts, and we'll make it do everything that in our possible way that will
thank you, Armstrong.
That's very good news, Armstrong.
Thank you very much.
That's very good news.
So we take this one from here. Good evening.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay. For me, I speak a little bit Mandingo and Sifuna also.
Anyone.
Okay. So first of all, TJ bro, it helps that when you see your leader carry on error. And your vision, you try to dash it down. That's what listening command did to us. But I think I'm Abu Sheri calling from Bon Country between Boy and Bapolo, especially to be specific, Jungo Chinkiam. This thing he had all for long, he had all bad, he helped the Muslim community. The only listening camera will go and go see, Cabinet Journey. We all know Cabinet Journey, a discerning view. That will be now straight for pay. We all know it. Therefore, they are not leader for us. They are not shakeable. They are not a shaker and the mover in the Muslim community. we know it. You know, it really hurt. We don't know what to say.
Okay, we can understand.
Yeah, I can feel it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's go to TT's line.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Good.
Anyway, I'm J Solution Junior.
Let's hear you.
I'm J Solution Junior.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Calling for the January belt for the medical region democratic change. Let's be realistic. And let's be patriotic. Let's be accountable and be accessible.
I tell you.
We are the next president for the Republic of Bureau.
Thank you very much.
Accountable, realistic. Daniel, good evening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Malaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Meaning that peace be unto you all.
Peace unto you too, my brother.
Okay, we are calling concern about the topic under discussion.
Go ahead, brother.
I think the apostle bearers have made us shame. But that's part of his decision. In our minds as a Muslims, the decision made by him is unilateral. It's not the decisions of the majority of the Muslims in this country. Those are the young people. We know very well, so we don't want a founder of ACO, because ACO was born out of the limo. Likewise, MPP was born out of MPFL. The struggle made by us those days, it was for us to live in this country free from intimidations and harassment. And the people chased us to say we will not be here, and we came back and reconcile with the rest of the Laverne people and bring peace in this country.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go to your line.
So the point here is that ACO is not for Lucini or any other person, it's for the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Just like it's predominantly Muslim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have to leave you at that because we have other callers on the line. And if you call, please, you've got 30 seconds to the line. If you go more than 30 seconds, we'll have to take you off.
Make use of
Thank
it,
you.
please.
Good evening.
Today, Washington, your senior guest, Kambaraba, and the rest of the calling queue.
Let's hear you.
Thank you for having me. I'm Emmanuel M. Super Junior, and I join you this evening for the office of the Interledger Class District number 14. I want to appreciate your senior guest, Kambaraba, and other, Islamic brothers. I'm not trying to, religiousize our politics here, but I want to appreciate these Muslim brothers who appreciate the president's magnanimous effort to incorporate them into the governing process of our country. This is what we see President we support President we say he's true unifier. There are a few things about former vice president. One of you say that he has to stand up for anything, but there are no something he's standing up for. What I have known as former vice president for standing up for is for division politics. The second thing is to lie in court against Mr. Cummings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to this line and take this person. Good evening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, this is Sheikh Mohammed Khan to join you from Grand Bassett.
That's good. How is Grand Bassett?
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, and from what guys are saying to you, I really appreciate your effort. And as Muslims from the Ghana, we are resolved to put number 2, and there is no other way, but when there is no job, there is a failure. So that's our ending.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Thank you. Let's go to the next one.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Hello, my dear brother, my dear guy.
Welcome.
Let me really understand one thing.
What is your name?
I'm J Solution Junior. I want to tell you that Just imagine, the president, he only enjoyed 4 years, the other year of coronavirus. And when you're playing the 14 military, the Putin, that member for organize everything at 14 because you're playing 14 when you change it in Bela Temple. That temple, you people, ministers, ex-ministers, they were at that place because of coronavirus. But you know, if you not get high, you not get hard. The one need me president Konji Kongro. When you get high, you get hard.
That's true.
Thank you.
Need for the president. Who let me get to the president?
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Wait. There are other friends
yes, I think the conversation needs Konji Kongura. Let's allow the other people to take on the show.
I mean,
Good evening. Walaikum salam. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
My name is Momo calling from Fenner.
Go ahead, sir. 30 seconds.
Thank you for
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, you have to shift a little bit. You're coming in broken.
Hello, you getting me now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, Mr. Barker did not pay for the AFL. In time is done, and then we are getting anything. We are president. We have to come today to go for pay to for whole Ministry of Education or the whole nation. President, we have to come and they want to put their late pension money in that they work and they receive it. You don't even want to take care of that one because if they are saying they for lofa, majority was Bele, was Loma, was you see.
True.
They could not say that he said, oh my people, they people they are my people. Let me at least find something that we want to. They said this country that we want to get it. Mostly people get that one.
Thank you.
People that say they are going to endorse it. I'm feeling endorse all the majority to judge me yesterday. We know who they yesterday.
Yep.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's go to Titi's line.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, this is Alexander Johnson calling from Bangapong County.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yes, let people know that the coronavirus very ran this country. Because if you compare the 2 eras, the Ebola, there were things coming here because those countries were on their own. But with all of the sophistications they have, see what happened to them during the coronavirus. So people should know that it is on the domestic ties that this president is working. And at least let it give him a chance. It will be, an injustice to just say, oh yes, we put the president here. Why it's not easy around the world. We appeal to them. Let it give him a second chance.
Thank you very much for that good point.
Thank you very much. Let's go to this line. Good evening. Salam alaikum.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm all for fun, right?
How you doing?
You're good.
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
Affirmative. Titi, this is Amara Fofana.
Why are you texting Abubakar Ba and threatening him?
Let me show the text to you. The text. I'm too civilized for that. I can never threaten him. Let me show the text to you. For an assistant minister to sit on state radio and allow people character is wrong.
You didn't text him?
I have to caution him.
Caution?
So I'm recording this show. I text him. Let me show the text.
So what's the intent? So you say your text, I'm recording this show. I'm asking for that. So what's the intent of saying that?
So Amara.
Yeah.
So don't you think we who on the show is live and it's been recorded?
That's not important. Why did you text him? What are you cautioning him about?
What is the intent of the communication?
On record.
On record?
For what?
Because, thank you, the communication, because there was a point in time that he went against, he sat on talk show, he went against Islamic cleric. And we have to go back and forth to resolve that problem. So I just text him personally so that you could avoid it. Because campaigning is not about bringing your community down.
So is he bringing the community down?
Ambassador Joseph Waka is not an enemy.
But did he bring the Muslim community down on this radio?
Some member of the community, everybody can follow it.
What did he say that brought the community down on this radio? Who did he attack? Who did he attack? go pinpoint one now. Pinpoint one.
He condemned Honorable Luceni Kamara.
What do you
Definition of
term
condemnation.
as, condemnation? What is it?
You want me to repeat that?
What is your definition of condemnation? I didn't say you should repeat that.
He said that Honorable Luceni Kamara he can't influence anybody.
Is that condemnation?
Please,
So no.
No, to be,
you see that?
you have shown that.
That is not condemnation.
Limited.
You have shown that, your reason for texting
Exactly.
Minister
What's
Barr
Contradict what you just said.
totally different.
Different. Very, very.
It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. That's why I wanted to know what the condemnation was, and your termination of condemnation.
They made him radicalize anybody. He didn't radicalize. The man
Give his general opinion.
Or to say that somebody does not
want to support exactly.
anybody. Is
Hello,
that
am I live on open conversation?
Yeah.
Very live, sir.
Okay, thank you for the studio guest. My name is Prince Freeman from Pinville.
Go ahead, Prince.
I want. My concern is religion. Is very sensitive. We should be very careful, in bringing it into our politics. I appreciate that because they are community, but this society we're in, not everybody who is very much, deep in reasoning with things. So we should be very careful in discussing such an issue of religion in our politics.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your points are well taken.
Thank you. Maybe we could take one more or two more calls, and then
If you have a call, then just take it. Let's go.
0772.
You don't have a call, then
No,
we'll
yeah,
take
you
it from
take
here.
it. You take.
Hello. That person is off the line. Hello. Hello.
I have a call here.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Didi.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Mrs. Bowman.
Let's hear you, ma'am.
Okay. Titi, I just want to read a scripture in the book of Galatians where the Bible says, "Oh, foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you?" So I refer that to Joseph Boakai. Oh, foolish Galatians, who have bewitched Joseph Boakai, that he don't know or he have not seen the handwriting on the wall that this president is going back for the second term. Who have bewitched him that he cannot listen to the cry of his people? Who have bewitched Joseph Boakai?
The thing about it is, that is democracy we're practicing in that religion. So everyone has his or her side. So obviously people have sides. And you support your side. So Joseph Boakai has people who support him, and they see a leader in him, just as you support President Weah and see him as your leader.
Exactly.
So I don't think we should mix that with the Bible, ma'am.
I'm not mixing it. I'm not mixing it. I'm only saying it. I'm only putting it to myself and saying that is what is happening to him.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Your points are well taken.
Thank you.
Your points are well taken. Let's go to this line here. Salam alaikum.
Yeah, can you I'm speaking from Ponkante, but I can't get it.
That's not a Muslim. But anyway, let's let him
Yeah, let's
speak from
continue.
county anyway.
I'm a Joseph Mava.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when we are running campaign, let will leave room for tomorrow. Actually, Honorable Parker is not enemy. He told me he's not doing that. The job we are playing football the best. I want to know the time job we are not president. What the thing he did here?
Okay, we'll tell you.
Really?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You didn't live in a brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Really?
The man is entitled to his view. He wants to know. We'll tell him.
That's of views that you tell us showcase.
No, we're telling him.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Arido Junior calling from Ponkande to Pacific Banga City.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to urge all Liberians to go to the pool peacefully come November 14th so that we can re-elect President we are, because we are Liberians. We supposed to be thinking now, after President we are 12 years, who will be the next competent person that's going to drive our country through. That's what we're supposed to be thinking, but we are not supposed to be thinking about Joseph Boakai now, because President we are is already a president. We only waiting for come January to be put into office again. Okay. So thank you for the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You want to put somebody through? Oh, it's this person.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My name is Mohammed C. I'm from the Islamic community.
Hey, Mohammed.
How are you? And let me use this time to first extend appreciation to the Honorable Minister in Studio Abakaba for raising the debate again. And we want to be on record. These elections are about the president tangibles. If these elections are about the president tangibles, it means this president has done remarkable work for the Islamic community than any other president in the history of this country. This is a reminder to the others who want to use our religion as a way to cause chaos in this country. Abakaba made it very clear when was the last time the past president ever attended a prayer at an Islamic center. This president, for the very first time, is on record of elevating an Islamic conversation at the UN General Assembly. This president, for the very first time in the history of our country, established a center or an office for a religious person. This president, for the very first time, has continuously demonstrated that Muslim Christians are the same as various institutions. This is why we are calling all Muslims to join us as we establish the movement united to prevent Boakai from entering any mosque in this country. And the head of that institution, everyone will know Boakai is who will prevent for an entry.
Why will you guys do that? He doesn't go to the mosque in fact, so what are you going to do?
Want to see what's the mind there?
Let him be.
That other tribe don't care. The man
already doesn't go to mosque.
Just let it be. Just let it be, Mohammed. Thank you very much. We're already out of time, Mohammed.
We're out of time.
Thank you. We are already out of time.
But I think you catch the meal. They make it go to mosque.
I
say lead
the
it,
thing
man.
about it is,
They're leading me.
Liberia is. We're going to elections. We're practicing democracy here. People always say that we all have religions, but yet today, nobody talked about Kabila Jana until he came out today to say, that he opposes President Weah and he wants his people, and he gave reasons. If you give reasons why people should not vote for President Weah, then we tell you, we bring somebody to say why it is important to vote for President Weah. So it is not about religion. It's not about attacking religion. I hear somebody say there will always be after elections.
We're not attacking religion.
For us to put our different views out and let's critique what our leaders are saying. Simply that.
Exactly.
And so don't make it seem as though, we're talking about religion here. No, it's because ACOP represents the Muslim community. And they were divided as it relates to endorsements.
So where they're going?
As we talk about all of the other things that surround our body politics as we go to these elections, we can exclude that from our topic. So that is why we're discussing it today. So let's keep the conversation civil and let nobody think that, we are discussing a segment of the society only to put other people against other people. And I thought what is his name?
Amara Fofana.
Amara Fofana did was so unfair. And Amara, I think, we can
your colleague an apology.
Mr. Ba an apology, because what you accused him of, we asked you here, and you didn't say anything like that he did. So let's come back to you, Mr. Ba. We're totally out of time. Let's hear what you have to say.
It has been a very healthy and entertaining discussion. I really enjoy it, and hopefully maybe I can be back here soon before the runoff election. I think 2 hours is almost like 30 minutes. But,
exactly.
Yeah, but I really, yes, I really enjoy it. But here's the thing. My head cannot fit in anybody's mouth. I am not afraid of anybody.
Sure.
Let us be very clear. If you think you have demon gods that you worship in the Islamic community, I don't have a demon god. I respect even the little ones. But you, as an elder, if you don't behave like an elder, you take a decision in the name of the community that I am a proud member of, I will disagree with you respectfully. And and I enjoy how he displayed his limitation. You ask him, what did I say that was wrong? He said, I said that this man cannot influence anybody. When did that become an insult? When did that become personal, denigration? When did that become? Or is it because you speak the same dialect? You have to stop this, and you have to grow up from this. I know you, Amara. That's your style. You're a friend. You're a brother. You have to stop this. Some of my closer friends, they're not full. Like at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Councilor Lucinability, he's my best friend. If he doesn't come to my office or go to the office, we'll say like that. So we are all one. Let's forget about this. What we are pushing here is that these people, they betray Akopians across the country. This is not the expectation of majority members of ACOP. And that is why you've seen a lot of deflection of clarification to the CDC. It has happened. Magibi started it, the Women League did it, the Youth League did it, and the Vice Chancellor Borough, who is the second most powerful person in this election year in ACOP, disagrees with it.
Even his national security advisor.
The party's chairman is in total disagreement.
Even national security advisor.
About 7 vice chairs of ACOP, they are in total disagreement. This is not a reflection of a consultative endorsement, but rather it was self-seeking endorsement. And this is why George Maniwea is going to win this election. Everywhere that Mr. Lucini Kamara got votes, President Weah will get those votes times 3, because Mr. Kamara was only a beneficiary of Alhaji Kumar, peace be to Achi, legacy, and he has no connection. He has done nothing for Muslims in the country, nothing like that. So people will not listen to him. He stood up for nothing for the Islamic community, just as Joseph Brakai has stood up for nothing for the Liberian people. So they are birds of the same feather. The two of them are almost in the same age. They have led their people in a similar manner, so they will similarly take similar decisions, similar rule. But guess what? November 14, George Maniwea, the woman and man ticket, is going to win the 2 gentlemen ticket. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ba. Under
a few seconds.
30 seconds.
20 seconds.
Let's hear you,
Minister.
Let me just say thank you to my colleague for, honoring the request. This is what we do every day. We've made a commitment, Abu, to do this until the president, is re-elected. And we are happy that we continuously provide the people information on directions. I want to say a special thank you to my people there in Margibi County. I know other counties will start to speak very shortly. And what I saw today, the union amongst all Liberians that partook in that event today, I'm still moved by that. I imagine myself being gowned by an elderly woman, and she patted me on the shoulder, hugged me, and said, "Thank you for the work that you guys are doing. We're always watching you people. When they are our children, we walk in the footsteps or above." She was not my mother. She's not a Christian, but she was able to do that for us. It is a touching moment for me, and I want to say thank you. And to many Liberians, all we're trying to do here is to give you a guidance of what the administration has been doing. You can go out there and do your own research, and you can come back and make a kind of decision. But come November 14th, the president is going to be reelected, and we want to give God the glory for that. Thank you very much.
It was a beautiful show, and thank you very much.
Minister Ba, I'd like to say thank you so much for being here today to let us understand exactly some of the things we didn't know about. And I'm sure those who are listening are appreciative of what you've done here today. We highly appreciate that also. And Minister Thomas, I'd like to thank you so much because you've been in this since morning and you were still able to come back here tonight to round up the night. I'd like to say thank you. It's the weekend. Let's have a restful weekend to be back, God willing, on Monday. To all of you who listened, we appreciate you. To all of you who didn't call but still listen, whether in Liberia or out of Liberia, we want to appreciate you for taking up your time to always listen to us. I always like to end like this. These are runoff elections. People get fatigued from the first elections. We know a lot of people who stood on the lines went back because they were kind of tired. But if you support the president of the Republic of Liberia and you want him to be the next president of this country, all you can do is to go to the polls on November 14. If you don't do that, the votes are the ones that count, that make your leader, president. It's not sitting home and just calling on the radio or assuming that President Weah is getting all of these endorsements and so he's going to win the elections. You are the one who are going to make that possible by getting up in the morning, going to the polls, whether the sun is hot, whether the rain is falling, you make your votes count. And when you do that, then you can proudly sit back on the 14th night of November when the votes are being counted and you can celebrate. Thank you so much. We'll see you when we see you on Monday and you will hear us.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together. I want. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While are you forgetting that? You from Lower Country, you from Maryland. While are you from Rewa?